Good stuff. All right. Sounds good. So let's start talking about, that transition. We've got high school down, kind of got the flow of it, what that next step is. We know and that college is going to be that transition. You identified, okay, let me go ahead and go with this college. So what was this college and what was it that you were looking for? What made you say, out of the colleges that you had to choose from, to say, what, this is going to be the one for me? What were your determination factors, so to say?
Definitely. So this question, it's probably one of my favorite to answer, really, probably because um, I had the chance to go Division 1 and go to Pitt and go play football. I took a few visits up there, and I took probably 10, 15 visits over college, a lot of D1s, a few Division 1 walk-ons and things like that. But making the decision, Malone had came in and offered me. I had no idea where they were. I had no idea who it was, what division it was. But I had met Coach Thomas, the head coach, a few years back when I was a freshman. I met him. He was at one of our scrimmages when he was coaching at Walsh University. So. Got to take that visit. Took that visit with my mom. My dad wasn't able to come, and they talked money, and I think that was huge for us. That was huge for us. The goal was always to get a full ride scholarship. My parents moved me around a lot of high school because I asked for it, and now it was time for me to pick one place and be there, and so they wouldn't have to spend any money as well. So that was huge. So that's kind of how I came to mine when I got to Malone.
Gotcha. So with that said, so Malone, for you, that was a full ride on that
Yeah.
one? And was
Yep.
that all athletic, or was that a hybrid of athletic and academic?
It was broken up academically and athletically. That's another thing about the Division 2 level. That's how it's broken up. It's broken up money. You get money for that, and you get money academically. You just have to try to outperform yourself in the classroom than on the field. I
Yeah.
guess you would say if you're looking to go D2.
Right. And I appreciate that as well, kind of highlighting again where you can kind of see the blocks. Like if you would have never made the decision, consciously, like, let me go ahead and focus on my grades and things like that in high school, that, if for whatever reason the university is running tight on money and they're like, okay, we only have an extra, 5,000 being put out there versus 10,000 a semester or whatever. Athletically, they're like, okay, we can max you out here, but we still need to, bring in this amount. If your grades aren't where they need to be, then you're almost tying your own hands behind your back and making yourself not that available. Not that they don't want you there, but again, it's because of the things that you've done in high school to set you up to be able to make better decisions and open those doors, so you're not forced to go the JUCO route. You know what I mean? Which I think is always dangerous, because where JUCO is, that 1 year, you never know what happens in a year. I mean, in 1 year it could be an injury. 1 year, someone else could be outperforming everything and every record you just set that prior year. And because sports is all about the right now, after a year, you start fading away. And now it's kind of like, all right, now you got to get the light back on you and whatever, things of that nature.
Exactly. I think that comes with patience too. I think a
Right.
lot of athletes nowadays, they just want it right now. And
Right.
I think my generation and my year is when we kind of started all of that. I mean, coming with me moving around schools and doing things like that, I was definitely not practicing my best patience. It definitely took me down some roads to meet a lot of people, great people. So I'm glad it happened with me. But patience is another thing that could go along with that.
Sure. And so as you're mentioning these quality values, patience and hard work, I'm hearing, of course, out of that determination, goal setting. How does that like transition you for that next step? More so, how did your values that you learned in football transition you now in life, period?
So huge, being a leader, being able to hear everybody out and actually listen to people in the football field. Being playing the position that I did, playing quarterback, you can't talk to everybody the same. You can't think that everybody is gonna get what you see or feel what you feel, and that's from a coaching standpoint, and that's from a playing standpoint as well. And I think being able to humble myself in those situations and know that I'm not always right, or look back over things and know that things can be fixed and know that things aren't always going to be perfect. But um, and even going down to practice, touching the line, I think that's huge. I
Mm,
think if I didn't touch the line 10 years ago when I first started playing football, I would have carried all the way to my senior year. Maybe that could have stopped my scholarship. You never know.
yeah.
I just those little habits, those little things that I formed, getting up early, 6 a.m. lifts. I still participate in all that. I think it's very, very important.
Gotcha. So you went into Malone, you transitioned, that was football. What was the thing that you most loved about playing the sport?
My teammates, no doubt. My teammates. Being able to throw a touchdown with 30,000 people, 20,000 people in the stands and look at your teammates, everybody smiling. I mean, it's not even about you at that moment. It's just like this whole thing as a whole is a moment, you know what I'm saying? Or even doing that in high school, or down to middle school on my first touchdown is things you just never forget.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So what advice would you give like kids that are, I guess, in that transition? They're building that book, like Kevin Hart says, so to say. What advice would you be giving them now at this part of the venture? Now that you said, okay, I'm in college. Now you're going into your senior year and saying, man, I don't want to like, use that cliche. What would you told your younger self? But what would you tell someone that's chimed in right now, knowing everything that's going around? What would you tell them in respect to being ready for that next venture? Whatever.
I would just say, don't take these days for granted, and don't, and that's cliche to say as well, but it's honestly so true.
Yeah.
I try to squeeze every single day as much as I can. Like you said, I get up early. I try to stay up as late as I possibly can without being tired from
Yeah.
trying to get up early again. But I mean, I try to squeeze every single day, and that's with family. I mean, that's with my religion. That's with studying, still doing my schoolwork, and that's in everything I do. Um, Another thing I would definitely say is stay grounded within yourself. I think it's easy nowadays to look at what everybody else is doing.
Right.
I found myself when I'm super focused on exactly what I want to do or what I intend to do, that everything else is white noise. I think I'm
Mhm.
locked in, and I think that's super important. Looking at somebody else, I think it'll just kind of tear you down. So that's super duper important.
Got you. What do you consider was probably the most challenging part of being an athlete, especially at the collegiate level?
Probably discipline of time management. And I think that's another thing that helped me transition into what I'm doing, on what I'm gonna do next. But definitely time management. You got 6 a.m. lifts. You get out of 6 a.m. lifts around 7:05. Get back to your dorm 7:10. You got class at 8. You gotta eat. If you didn't do your homework like you were supposed to do, you gotta get that in. You gotta get it printed out. You gotta get to class. I mean, you want to get to class 5 minutes early. Do your classwork for the day. Get out of that, and then you're in position meetings. You're on the board. You're looking at film. You're doing things like that. After that, you're going to practice. After practice is another study session. After that study session, you finally got a little bit of rest. And then if you want to put in some extra work at that point, it's on you, or relax or hang out with your teammates. But I think that time management thing was definitely the biggest, no doubt.
Yeah. Wow. And that's what I hear. When people, of course, they want to play that next level of ball, whatever, but they don't necessarily know all the grind, waking up and got to be hitting on your P's and Q's, like no one's begging you to stay there. I mean, it's kind of like that next man up. Well, oh, you don't want to? We'd love to have you here, but we got someone else that would love to be able to have your place. You know what I mean? Versus someone feeling like, more so I guess the realization that you came to, in your sophomore year, like, all right, man, let me, da da da. At that level, when there's money on the table, no one can afford to wait around for you to show up. It's like you gotta come ready, so to say.
Exactly. And I think that I had a something click for me when I got to college in that same respect. I mean, I had my fair share of injuries in college, and that set me back, you know what I'm saying? But um getting back on that horse and having that click and knowing when to click it out, turn it on and turn it off, I think that's huge as well.
Mm-hmm. So you just alluded to the next piece in regards to injuries. Of course, when you're 17, 18 or whatever, even 19, so to say, you almost feel invincible. You know what I mean? As far as in injuries, you're not worried about it. You're not phased. It's more so, I got to go to be great. You know what I mean? But during that transition of being great, so many things could come upon you, and injuries are definitely one of the villains that come in and take people out, without warning, whether it's a rolled ankle or, somebody's knee or whatever it is, a myriad. ACL with basketball is like crazy, just the different. I learned more parts of the body, not necessarily through anatomy and physiology class, but because every time some athlete was out for the season because of this injury, I'm like, good Lord, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But so how did that play into it? Keeping your body where it needed to be, and then transition into, well, what happened when an injury did come your way?
Definitely. So, I was bigger in high school. So my goal going into college, I wanted to be a true freshman. I wanted to start every game I could possibly start. So, I wanted to set all the records, and I had goals. So I decided to slim down. I super slimmed down. I think I went down to 185. I played all my high school at 210, 215. I was 185, 190, waiting to fill up my frame when I got to college. And I finally got the chance to actually get on the field. I was I was 18 at the time. Like you said, 18, 19, 20, you feel invincible, At 18, I mean, my second play ever, I broke my leg, broke my ankle, all in the same play. It was crazy. I probably should have never been in that game, and I think that had a mental toll on me, that had a mental toll on me, and then learning how to run again and learning how to do all those things again. I was in a boot 9 out of 12 months, like I said, learning how to turn it on and turn it off. And then coming back from that, um, going into my sophomore year, I didn't play very much. My sophomore year, I was 19, didn't play very much. Like I said, was scout team 5 weeks. Out of the 10, got moved up because of injuries. By the last game of the season, I was starting quarterback, and I had to be ready. I mean, you're on scout team for 5 weeks. You got to be ready. No matter what. And at that time, you got to think you're not even doing your own offense. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't running our own offense from the end of summer camp to the middle of the season. It had all gone by the wayside. So, I mean, I had to make sure I had to prepare myself and turn that switch on and turn it off. In the 19, 28, in that game, my last game, I got hurt. I tore my shoulder up 20. So 18, 19, 20, I had three back-to-back injuries. 2017 to 2018, I had 9 surgeries. So it was huge. It was huge, definitely mentally more than anything. I can
Yeah,
definitely say that.
yeah. So what is that? What does that mental process look like? Like you said, boom, 18, 19, 20, like you strong it mentally, you know what I mean? As far as or going into it, you're all the way up here, boom, injury, boom, injury, boom, injury. What does that transition look like from how do you get your focus back? You know what I mean? So that you don't get lost in dark spaces. Because a lot of
Definitely.
times, sometimes people, whatever life puts on them, stress of even their home life or whatever, it can pull you down. You know what I mean? So how do you navigate yourself through going through something as traumatic as that?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely tell you right now, and honestly, I can definitely say it. I love that Kevin Love says it. I can definitely say that I've went through those dark spaces, and I've definitely been in that mode, and especially it was from a lot of those injuries between my freshman year and then hurting my shoulder. I think when I broke my leg, um, I think I came back about a month after. I didn't leave my room for a month and a half. I was literally in a dark room doing all my homework for about a month and a half in college, kind of isolating myself because I didn't know what was next. I had lost my spot, lost everything I ever worked for, was ever thinking about. I was trying to figure out if I was going to be able to keep my scholarship, how the medical scholarship was going to help, or what the next step was. So I think just the people around you, I think the people around you are the people who are going to keep you grounded. you keep good people around you, they'll help you get out of those spaces. I think you kind of have to use them as soundboards sometimes. Sometimes they may tell you you're talking a lot, you know what I'm saying? I definitely get that, but I think I use them as soundboards in therapy. You know, I never had to take a therapy class or anything, but I definitely try to talk through everything I'm going through at that
Yeah.
moment.
Awesome. Do you happen, so say for instance, using your friends, do you write things out, you know what I mean, as far as your goals, or, is that something that you do as far as in practicing? Because at maybe 3 o'clock in the morning when there's no one around you, and need to kind of get yourself motivated, what do you do in respect to setting that next goal and things of that nature?
Yeah, so I have a vision board. I've had the same vision board since 2017.
Okay.
I look at it every morning, every night before I go to sleep. And I stole it. I mean, I stole it off of Steve Harvey. I watched Steve Harvey back in high school, and he talks about it a lot. But um, and clearly I'm writing things off. I could show it to you,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool to see it come to life. I think that's a motivating piece as well. You know, seeing your own dreams that you're writing down
Yeah.
actually developing, and I think that's huge. You look at it every day, and you know what the goal is for the day, even if you're not doing something
Yeah.
for that goal. Say I go for a run, it's still teaching me to be disciplined for that goal. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I'm a person. I'm like, give me a piece of paper, give me a whiteboard or something of that nature, just so that I can kind of see what that next thing looks like. Mark it off. Say, okay, this is where we are with everything. I mean, my vision board. I've got like a couple different things, but give me a whiteboard. You know what I mean? And game changer stuff over there. Um, just to kind of keep myself accountable, I guess, what it does as well, So I can appreciate that whole process for sure. Awesome.
definitely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's talk about where you are now. All right. We're going to be winding down, and I want to go ahead and definitely get where you are now. You said 7 weeks away from graduating. What's your major, and what have been some of your internship opportunities, and what made you decide to switch into this next step, which in respect to transitioning to Denver?
Definitely. So, my major is sport management and marketing. I actually went into college as a bio pre-med major. I wanted to be sports medicine physician, but due to my injuries, it kind of slowed that down for me. I wasn't really able to catch up, and after that, I just switched into sport management and marketing, and I was going back and forth actually if I wanted to do that or not, but it seemed like the most for me. My goal at the end of the day was always to work in sports, not really play sports. So being able to transition and do that and go into sports really, really helped me. My sophomore year, I got an internship with the Akron Rubber Ducks. And actually, my sophomore year, I was at Camp McKinley. I was able to be an assistant AD for a little bit, and that was huge. You know, that was huge. I was able to see a lot of things, do a lot of things, and be in the field. And then my junior year, that summer, I gave my entire summer after my sophomore year, going into my junior year to intern with the Ducks, and that was huge too. I got to rotate and do a lot of things, meet a lot of people, met a lot of Indians players, got to go up there a little bit, so that was cool. And then my senior year just wrapped up at the Milwaukee Bucks. It was really, really cool. Um, Definitely, so it was an unforgettable experience. I can definitely say that. I met a lot of people, and then now I'm headed to the Denver Nuggets come June. So
That's what's up, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm a little tight. I'm just finding about Denver Nuggets. I ain't gonna lie. I'm up here shooting you internship opportunities. You like, man, I already got a job, man. I be thinking, big cuz be on the
nah.
lookout. You turn sideways, cuz it ain't gonna transition right.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No
I
worries.
got you.
But yeah, I'm up here trying to find a space for little cousin. You out here making moves.
I'm trying, man. I'm definitely trying. It took a while. I honestly didn't think that was even gonna happen, but it took a leap of faith, and I'm glad it did.
Yeah, awesome. So you're going out to the Denver Nuggets, and what position? What are you going to be doing out there for that
So I'll,
franchise?
so I'll be an inside sales representative out there. It's kind of like my job I was doing in Milwaukee. It's a full-time role, so moving out there for good. But yeah, it's inside sales, so I'll be doing the same thing I did at the Bucks.
Okay. And so clearly, like you said, acting Rubber Ducks and then working with Milwaukee, uh, these are internships. How important are internships to getting you where you kind of want to go career wise?
I think they're huge. I think they're not only good to learn what you want to do. I think it's even better to learn what you don't want to do. Because I've definitely been in things that I don't want to do. I mean, I've been in promotions. I've worn like sumo suits and things like that, and ran around the bases. I've had to do it all to get to the position to actually kind of where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be. I don't know if I ever will be. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep looking up until I get up there. But I mean, they're huge. I actually got that line from the president of the Bucks. He said that to all of us as interns. He sat down with us, and that was huge. Seeing somebody in a position that's a president of an NBA basketball team, you being able to sit down and talk with him, and then sit down and talk with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar about your thoughts and what you think about the world and what you think about your job or what you want to do, and get insight like that. I think it's huge.
Yeah, I got you. And following like some of your stories or things you've done, people you've met along your journey. I mean, you ain't got a name drop, but if you want to, just the time to do it. Like, who are some of those people that you've had the pleasure of kind of encountering, through your transition and your journey of high school, college, and then where you are now?
Definitely. High school, I don't know if I met that many people. On my visits, I met a few Stiller players on my visits to Pitt. That's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Um, since I've been in sports, I've met a few baseball players. I met Lindor a few times. I met Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas, Lamar Jackson. Tried to get Lamar Jackson's towel. He said he would send it to me, so I still got to hit him up for it. He knows who I am. Ray Lewis, Antetokounmpo multiple times, Dante DiVincenzo. The list goes on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
really cool. Got a lot. I got a lot of signed stuff. Definitely, I got a lot of signed things too. So that's dope.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what's up. Man. Well, man. I'm so excited about everything, the opportunities that you've kind of raised up and you've taken. Your transition, your humility. I'm not perfect, but I'm grinding. I'm still going for it. I'm trying my best. Every day is a different day or another opportunity to be able to do something better than you did before. Not competing with anyone except for yourself. Become the best version of yourself is going to be, if you push that limit, you're always going to be in that growth atmosphere, that growth mindset. And for me, I could definitely appreciate that. You alluded to, even your religion or your spiritual growth, being able to kind of undergird and help through that. And let's tap on that just for a moment as well. How did your spirituality help with all of that transition? Where you are now, and even to what you said. Hey, this is a leap of faith.
definitely. So I mean, this Denver trip was definitely a leap of faith. But I mean, having my faith through it all. My parents taught me that growing up. My grandma definitely instilled in me. And having that, knowing that I wasn't in control, but as long as I can control what I can control, that God will take care of the rest. And I definitely believe that, and I think I've always trusted and believed that through anything. Definitely through the injuries, um, through the good times, the bad times, definitely at my lowest points. It's definitely not easy. Uh, I can definitely say from the outside looking in, it looks easy working for a NBA team, but when you're interning, you're definitely at the bottom of the barrel in a new city, and it in times can definitely be trying. But definitely keeping my faith and knowing that everything's always going to turn out okay.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. Before we let you go, we're gonna do a little rapid fire question or whatever, just to kind of light it up for the folks. Nah, man, no game today.
All right.
um, so just a few things, just throwing out there, just so things that maybe we didn't touch on, but people might inquire, about you or whatever. Texting or talking.
Talking.
Favorite day of the week.
Monday.
Place in the world that you would like to visit?
Ooh, London.
Okay. London is nice. I've been there. It's
Yeah.
overcast, but it's beautiful.
I
The
gotta
great
check it
thing about
out.
London, you don't have too much. You don't have that challenge of understanding the language, versus like going to Brazil or something like that, Italy or whatever.
Yeah.
Last song you downloaded?
Download it. Let me see. It's probably an album. It was probably, I don't want to say it was Drake's Illegally, but definitely got that one. Probably Lil Baby or
Okay,
Lil Uzi's. Yeah.
I dig it. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
First celebrity crush?
Christina Milian. Oh
Okay. Hey,
yeah.
Millie. Listen, little cuz is taken, but holla at your boy. Favorite junk food?
Junk food. I'm not a huge junk food person, man. I'm like a freak when it comes to like eating good now. Probably some ice cream.
Okay, all right. Favorite movie?
Shooter.
Favorite season?
Fall.
What's your favorite ice cream since you mentioned that one? Flavor?
Probably butter pecan.
Dig it. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
How many hours of sleep do you usually get?
Probably, I try to get 6. I
Okay.
try to get 6 to 8, but I mean, it's kind of tough. Right now, I'm getting a lot of sleep. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I
Thank you,
think,
bro.
I think we all are. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah.
Got you. What was your favorite subject in high school?
History.
What about college?
Business finance.
Mm.
Definitely
Who's
my favorite
your
class.
business finance?
Yeah, favorite class.
Okay. Who's your favorite QB?
Cam Newton.
Dig it. What'd you think about that?
Tough. We gonna see. They gonna get my boy right though. He gonna land somewhere. He gonna kill it.
Yeah. I agree. Who's your favorite athlete?
LeBron.
Mm. Um, two more for you. Most interesting place you've ever visited?
I honestly don't know. I haven't been that many places. Probably somewhere in Colorado, up in the mountains.
Gotcha. All
Beautiful.
right. With that said, would you prefer ideally a mountain view, an ocean view, or a city view?
Ocean view.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cuz I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence, for your story, for sharing your journey. It speaks volumes, to the man that you have become, your goals, getting everything where it needs to be, your process, and I remember that used to be one of your bands that you
Trust the process.
trust the
Definitely.
process. Yeah.
Definitely. That
Yeah.
was another one.
Yeah.
Grinding, man. Doing it
Yeah.
all. Squeezing it.
Yeah. And man, I mean, just remarkable. I wish and pray nothing but the best for you in your next transition. I'll be rooting. We don't know what your graduation gonna be looking like, but if we have to do a mock graduation on Instagram Live again, baby, come ready with your cap and gown.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'll
get
play
it
that
going.
music.
Definitely. Definitely.
All right, well, to give the family my love, thank you, cuz I appreciate you, love you, man, and you take it easy.
Definitely will. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, for sure. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. I will catch you next Wednesday with someone else. Y'all take care and be easy.